What's up, cats? Ali. Today I wanted to talk about the side of Palau that most tourists don't see. Now, because Palau is such a remote destination for a lot of people, they go there thinking that they'll only go there once, so they either pre-book a tour or they go there with a certain set of schedules and activities ahead of them. But after you arrive there, you tend to hear about a lot of different little hidden gems or off the beaten path places and things to do. So today I kind of wanted to share some of the things that I think a lot of tourists really overlook or don't get the chance to see and experience. And this will kind of hopefully enlighten some people to branch out of just diving in Palau, because I really think Palau has a lot to offer aside from its little rock islands. So the first spot on our list today is Kayangel, the northernmost island in Palau. Only about 50 people live here. Some tourists do make their way up here for a quick little day trip and do some snorkeling and walking around, but a lot of people are unaware of this spot, and I know quite a few Palauans who have never been up here. This is going to be one of the, I believe, 16 states of Palau. One of our friends on the holiday trip up there, she had never been up to Kayangel before, so yeah, a lot of people do not see this side of Palau. You have beautiful white sand beaches here. If you stay up on the dock, you will see more sea turtles than you ever have in your entire life, because there's all this seaweed up there. You can stand up there for 5 minutes and see 20 sea turtles. It is incredible. Beautiful sunset and sunrises here. Endless coconut trees. Of course, comes with coconut crabs. Taking a stroll at night, you will probably come across a big old coconut crab. I came across this guy and came back, and all my friends were yelling at me because I did not grab it. But then again, I am from the Midwest, so when I see an animal, my first thought is not, let's grab that, boil it up, and eat it. But Kayangel is stunning. The next thing that tourists don't get to see about Palau is the history. Now, I know there are going to be some people commenting about how they went there specifically for a World War II tour, and that's great for you. But I personally saw a lot of tourists come to Palau and only went snorkeling for 3 days or scuba diving for a week, which is incredible. And you do and will probably come across some World War II history just walking around the main island or going in the water, because there's plenty of that. But a lot of people will probably not even know that they're looking at some history, like the traditional Bai houses of Palau. So you'll see these platforms like this all around the islands, all over the islands. There was one in the neighborhood of Nurmid where I was staying, and I would see these just in people's front yards, which is crazy to me coming from the Midwest. Having something that's hundreds of years old, if not thousands of years old, in your yard is absolutely mind-blowing, and I love it because I love history. It really paints a different picture of the environment that I am surrounded by. So seeing places like this really gets me hyped up, especially going on a big World War II tour in Peleliu, which I highly recommend. It is so incredible and so cool to see if you grew up watching the History Channel. But of course, there are two places that a lot of tourists will overlook, and that is going to be on the Big Island. One of them will be the monoliths. These are going to be stone structures that are believed to have supported a large Bai or meeting house of Palau, and then the Japanese lighthouse. Japanese lighthouse has one of the best views in Palau, in my opinion. Both can be very quick trips, or you can, stay there as long as you want and appreciate. But they are beautiful, and you get to see the northern side of the island a little bit as well. Now, a good amount of people do actually take advantage of this next aspect of Palau, and that is kayaking, but I will say not enough people do it, and too many people do it very casually. So what I mean by this is setting up a camping excursion or setting up some solo kayaking where you can really just free roam, have a good idea of where to find some cool places. For example, I went solo kayaking and ended up camping in a cave. Now, to some people, this sounds horrible and not fun at all. But to those people who are adventurous, this might be up your alley. It was so incredible. Kayaking at sunsets and sunrise, camping in a cave. It's incredible, and you can find some beautiful little hidden beaches, and it is a magical experience that I really think more people should go out of their way for. The next side of Palau that most tourists don't see is literally hanging with local people. Now, that sounds a little bit absurd, I might say, but visiting the country, it doesn't really happen so naturally. You might get a Palauan tour guide, but they're honestly few and far between. You'll definitely probably get a Palauan captain on your boat, for sure, but you don't end up hanging out with these Palauans. And one aspect that I saw living in Palau is just sitting around at a park or on the beach or on a dock and not really saying much, honestly. It kind of painted a new perspective and gave me a unique experience with Palauan people. You find yourself just hanging out as if it's the old days. Like, not everyone's just like stuck at home watching movies or on the internet. A lot of people in Palau really do just be kicking it, and you don't really need to say or do a lot. It just is a part of that relaxed island culture. And of course, the endless barbecues that come along with Palauans as well. I've never had so many barbecues in my entire life. Plus, the best side of Palau is getting a bunch of your homies together and camping out on the rock islands for a weekend. That is so incredible, and I guarantee 99% of tourists don't get to experience that. You really can't do it the same way in other countries because Palau is one in a million. The last thing I'm going to touch on is the fact that people do not go out of their way for good views in Palau. Outside of being on the boat and what you see on the boat, people really just stick to their immediate surroundings, but there are some incredible places to watch sunsets and some expansive viewpoints in Palau as well.